and what your level, I know that you've been quoted saying that you thought it could be a lot worse. So what your level of nerve was about what this potentially could end up being.
Yeah. We got a baby we had last year. So besides that, off season was pretty normal, pretty standard, working out, throwing. But it was, I guess, the beginning of February. I woke up and my elbow was just swollen. I didn't have much range, couldn't flex or extend it. And then, I did what I'd usually do for some swelling, which that amount of swelling was concerning. But after it didn't go down, that's when I called the training staff and, said, hey, like I got swelling in my elbow and I can't get it out. So, what do we do from here? And then got down here, had the MRI, and after the bone spurs, it was kind of a sigh of relief, and got them removed, and here we are.
Does the elbow feel noticeably different right now? Is this something that, even if the swelling wasn't there, was kind of nagging at you at times over the last year or so?
No, it caught me off guard because it was feeling fine. There wasn't an incident or a throw or anything where I noticed something. It just came out of nowhere, and now it feels a lot better. It feels pretty normal. We're easing into the rehab stuff and making sure we, check off all the boxes and go about it the right way. But it feels really good.
Thanks.
Next question is from Tim Healy.
Hey, Seth. The Mets mentioned at the time of your surgery that it would be about 6 weeks of rehab before you could start throwing again. Are you on track for that? And what are you able to do physically at this point?
Yeah, right now we're on track. It's been going well, a little more than 2 weeks in. And, I'm working out, doing my shoulder programs, keeping the legs in shape, riding a bike, just planning on throwing once we get there. But everything's going well right now, and I'm feeling pretty good.
You talked in past years about how, a little physical thing here, a little physical thing there. You're never worried because it takes you X amount of time to be regular season ready. What is that amount of time? How long do you think once you start throwing, it'll take you to, be ready if things go according to plan?
Well, with this, I don't know that answer. I'm just going one day at a time right now. I know what I've got today, and I know what I've got tomorrow and the next day. But after that, it's to be seen. So I'm just gonna take it slow for now.
Thank you.
Next question is from Justin Toscano.
Hey, Seth, is that a little bit difficult to kind of take it slow and take it day by day? When everybody's out here, a lot of excitement around the team, and you might be itching to get going?
Well, it's a bummer watching everyone throw and I don't get to, but one day at a time. That's the best way to approach it, and that's how I stay focused and get the most out of every day. So I want to try to keep that mentality.
Seems like sometimes a lot of pitcher injuries go, undiagnosed, or you can't figure out what it is. How relieved are you that you did know what this one is, and it was kind of an easy fix, quick fix there?
Very relieved. Those few days where I didn't know what was in there. You go through every thought in your head, and I'd say this was a pretty good scenario, and I was quite relieved after the MRI.
Thank you.
Next question is from Deshef Dozar.
Hey, Seth, good to see you again. Did you kind of wait to tell the Mets about your injury, and was that because you thought it was maybe more minor than it was? And do you wish you might have told them earlier?
Well, I took a couple days to try to get the swelling out, icing and compression, that sort of thing. And then after no success, that's when I called the team because, I didn't know what it was. But I think we did the right thing. And as far as the timeline goes, I think everything worked out how it should have.
And then just what do you kind of expect your emotions to be on opening day when you wish you could have been out there with the guys, but you kind of have to wait a little longer?
I'd say it'd be excitement for the guys. I'll be watching the game and cheering them on, and I'll be right there in spirit with them.
Thanks.
Next question is from Ken Davidoff.
Hey, Seth. You say you had a baby this offseason?
No, last year during the shutdown. So he's 11 months old now.
I was going to congratulate you, but I guess I'll very belatedly congratulate you.
All right, thank you.
But just, so it sounds like you've had minor swelling in the past and you ice it and it takes care of itself. But what stood out this time is the self remedy didn't do the trick?
Right, that's correct.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Next question is from Tony DeComo.
Hey, Seth. Disha kind of stole my question, but you did miss opening day once before in I believe 17.
Right.
What were your emotions then? And I guess does this kind of give you a blueprint of maybe keeping those in check now?
Well, it's a little different now than it was then. You know, that was going to be my first opening day if I made the team that year, which, you know, the injury prevented that. But it's, you know, it's hard to guess. Like I said, you know, I'm just trying to take it one day at a time and focus on what I have to do today. And then once tomorrow gets here, we'll do that. But I haven't thought too much into it. You know, I know watching the spring training game so far, you know, I'm sitting at home itching to be playing. And, you know, I do my own, I guess, pitching analysis and critiquing of, you know, what I see. But I'm sure it'll be similar to that once opening day gets here.
What is your number one takeaway that you've seen in your pitching analysis?
Our guys are competing, you know. I've seen a lot of guys throwing the ball really well. Also, wish I was out there with them.
Thank you.
Next question is from Tim Healy.
Similarly, I suppose, what do you think of this group of relievers put together by the new front office?
It looks like a you know, big, strong group of guys. You know, it seems like every year guys just get bigger and bigger, and you know, walk around and feel kind of little around some of these guys. But you know, from what I've seen, haven't been around too much. You know, because I kind of come in at staggered times sometimes. But you know, I've heard good things, and seems like they're working hard and throwing the ball well. So it's exciting.
Thank you.
Next question is from Tim Britton.
Hey, Seth, you mentioned coming in at staggered times. How different is rehabbing in kind of a socially distanced facility than it usually is?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, you know, I think last year was the first year I was kind of injured early in spring. You know, in 17, that was like the last week. But compared to last year, it's pretty weird. You know, sometimes I have to come in a little bit later in the mornings. Other times I have to be here before everyone else. So it's strange, but we're making it work.
And usually you say you build up to be a starting pitcher if they want you to be heading into spring training. Does this change that at all? Do you still think you want to, you know, plan to stretch out as much as possible when you do start throwing?
I'm not sure once I start throwing. As far as before I got to Florida, you know, that's what I was doing. You know, I was running long distance, make sure to get my endurance up, and you know, make sure arm strength was there in case they needed me to stretch out. So it was I was planning it that way, but once we get going, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it from there.
Thank you.
Next question is from Disha Thozar.
Hey, Seth, just a couple from me. What was the reaction of some of your teammates, closest friends on the team when they learned of your injury?
I mean, really how you'd expect, you know, guys wishing me well and, you know, asking me how I'm feeling. I mean, still to this day, you know, how's it going? How's rehab going? How you feeling? So, you know, best wishes from a lot of guys, and, you know, that feels pretty good. But, you know, it's pretty professional around here. So, you know, we all have our jobs and we all have our work to do. So we all focus on that.
And then just, do they get a look at your UCL, and have they updated you at all on that?
Yeah, whenever we did the MRI, they had a look at it, and it looked good.
Everything checks out?
Yeah, minus the bone spurs, but they're gone now.
Thanks.
Next question is from Ed Coleman.
Hey, Seth, good to see you. Glad you're feeling better. I just wondered whether you had any, prior to this, whether you had any conversations with Louie or Sandy in the offseason as to how they would utilize you, what your role would be.
No, me and Louis have had the conversation in the past that, I'll prepare for whatever scenario and tell me when to pitch. And, it's kind of going that same way, known Louis for a long time. He's known me. So, the conversations, they tend to work out, better face to face. But, I was just preparing for any scenario.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Bruce Beck has the next question.
Hey, Seth, your versatility is such an asset. And following up on what Ed's saying, do you think sometimes that's a blessing or a curse? And do you consider yourself a pitcher, or do you just consider yourself a relief pitcher or a starter? Like, how would you summarize if somebody saw you on the street?
Well, I consider it a blessing, and I consider myself a pitcher. I think I take pride in being able to pitch in different situations, different scenarios, and I've always had that mentality, and I've always kind of bounced back between starting and relief, whether it's amateur ball or college ball. So that's kind of the way I've always been, and I like it that way.
Is it a little bit more of a challenge as you prepare for a season when you're not certain of the length that you'll be asked to show? Well,
that's why I always tend to be stretched out, or as far as conditioning, make sure to have my endurance up, because it's a whole lot easier to tone down than it is to build up. So I always make sure to build up as much as I can, and if we have to back off, then that's easy compared to ramping back up.
Seth, thank you very much for your time this morning.
All right, thanks.
Members of the media, a new Zoom link will be sent for manager Luis Rojas' pregame at 11.